Hi everybody, this is Mike from When the Ancients Speak, and Victoria's here. Wow. I was out in the kitchen, and I'd been having a pretty grumpy day, just worrying about everything that's going on, and really concerned about people that are, taking the jab, and all the other things that are going on. And when you focus on that, sometimes it really kind of brings you down, and it starts to affect your personality, your persona, who you are, because you actually fall out of what I'd like to call harmony with Father. And when it happens, sometimes you don't even realize it right away, because it's so detrimental when you don't maintain that positivity and that love energy inside of you. Now, I know it's very difficult to maintain it in a dark world, but you have to think of it as this dark world is like it's pouring down rain, and you've got this precious little lantern that has a light. And normally you could shutter it open and it'd be bright and shining and really beautiful. But as you carry it, and it's the only source of fire, it's kind of like that movie Quest for Fire, where you had to carry that light with you, and you had to protect it with, there was always one of the people in the tribe that their main responsibility was to carry fire. Can you imagine what just handing them a Bic lighter would have done? It would have transformed that entire area. The ability to have portability of fire was everything for some of our earliest ancestors. Even though we know some of that was probably a little bit of hokum, but we do know that there were early tribal people that became very skilled at making fire. And that was because if you couldn't carry the fire with you, then at least you had to carry the implements that could allow you to reconnect with the fire and make it again. When you're feeling down and when you're kind of depressed and things are bad, it's very easy to lash out. I mean, there have been days here where, you just you're brooding in your own little private space, and you're trying to reconnect again and try and becoming a happier person. Now, if you think it's bad for you when you go through this, imagine being me. Just for a minute. I don't mean to sound egotistical or anything, but just imagine when I do something stupid, I don't just hear it from my own family, from, Victoria, Ryan, or like when I'm down in the dumps and someone needs to kick me in the ass. I get to hear it from everybody, from one of the lowest dimensional beings all the way up the scale, as I get corrected again and again. So I'm here to tell you that it is critically important to maintain your joy and not to get too caught up with everything that's going on as far as the news media, everything that's taking place. And I personally want to thank whatever angelic being that I saw, because I was doing something and this being just appeared within my vision, and I felt pulled into this vision. And this is the first time I've had a really strong vision, because most of the time I just hear what these beings say. But Victoria's more the vision person. She opens her eyes every day and there's a new vision. And after a while it's like, how do you compete with that?
Oh no.
And I'm not saying that I do. And I don't want you to feel that we're competing in any way. But I'm just saying, in my own mind, I'm like, it just happened to me, and it makes a big difference when you can see these things in your mind's eye. Now, I can remote view. I've done it. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm getting better every day. But the one thing I, for whatever reason, really can see well is I can actually view and see occasionally these angelic powers when they make a proclamation. I'm assuming all of us at one point were able to hear that. It was kind of like if the person in charge of you is an officer and they're issuing a command, everyone in the chain of command hears it, right? But when we're attuned to Father, all of a sudden you have this incredible discernment, and it just grows and grows. And Father wanted me to tell all of you this. Don't give up. We are so close to the end of this. Yes, we have all been judged, and there's a lot of really bad, wicked things going on. It is important, for whatever reason, and Father didn't specify on this because I'm paraphrasing here, that both good and evil must run parallel for a time. Let me say that again, that both good and evil must run parallel for a time. And sometimes we're experiencing this sort of shifting back and forth, right? Because one minute we're happy, the next minute we're upset and we're worried. And if you dwell too much in the negativity, you can actually be pulled away from the positivity until such point as they continue to pull you down. It's kind of like a drowning man is dragging at the water, but there are like beings underneath the water trying to yank them down underneath the water. And that's what this depression becomes in your life, and it begins to pull you down and down. And lately I have been experiencing a little bit of that, and I've been around other individuals that may have experienced a little bit of that too. And it's actually quite natural with everything we're going through, that occasionally you just feel so down, right? But I will tell you this. I am over it. I'm done with all of this horrible darkness. I hate it more than you can imagine, because I know these people, these beings are preventing us from connecting with Father on levels that are simply unimaginable. Imagine, just like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, if you were like Kurt Russell, where you literally will be given a quadrant of the galaxy, and this is Father's plan for all of us, and that everything that we've ever dreamed of, everything that we've ever believed, everything that we've ever put faith in, has the ability to manifest on a world that we will get to have our own world that will become anything that we want it to be, and that we will etch this upon the easel of the gift of Father's, what I like to call the sandbox. That each of us, the more and more that we open up to Father, the closer and closer we get to that point where He will allow us to begin to project into the multiverse whatever reality you want to experience. Now, some of these things already exist that you've been thinking about and doing and saying and interacting with. They already are real, and you are on the receiving end of it because someone else has already manifested it. And you said, I like that so much, it's going to be part of my reality. Or if you're being brainwashed, I hate that so much, I don't want that to be part of my reality. Thank you very much, we're going to invert that now. And now you live a horrible reality. But as the consciousness is rising, as we are connecting more and more to the divine, which is the experience I think that I just had, the more that we connect with the divine, the stronger and more powerful we will become. And they are terrified of us. Terrified. I'm not talking just a little bit. I mean to the point they know that they've had us. That's why they wanted to kill us all, you see, because they know we're waking up. It's sort of like, what are you going to do, okay? You're running along a corridor and someone's trying to kill you, you know, one of these Predator movies or something. And you turn around and you blow one of these Predator monsters apart, at least partially, and it falls down. And you're like, oh my goodness, thank goodness it's gone. And you turn your back on it and you walk away, right? But then it rises up again and it comes after you again. This is the kind of thing that they're trying to do. Take our positivity and invert it, because it is being pulled away from us. So while this negativity is being disrupted and pulled out of this world, they want to bring you with it. They want to suck you down this vortex that is going to draw you into this darkness, and that's what they want to do to you. And this is why you must remain positive, because you are under the final test. Many of us are ancient, powerful beings, and we've been on this planet way too long. And I understand why Victoria gets upset and Ryan gets upset. They want to leave this planet. They've had enough of it. But I'm here to tell you, Father just wants the evil to leave this planet and then make it anything that you want it to be. Your day can be a beautiful walk in the park on a fall day with wonderful children playing around and a great fall day with leaves and a little bit of breeze and bright, fresh sunshine. You could have that day all the time if you wanted. Father wants you to connect these realities together. And the message he wanted me to tell you is, if you can hold on to that long enough, at some point, the reality on this planet will shift. And you, and for the sake of you and you alone, Father may create an abundant reality that is exactly what you want. And that would be his greatest gift to you once all of this sorts itself out. And that was the message Father wanted me to bring you today, because that's the message that he brought me with a fiery brand on my backside, to remind me what's going on in this world. Because yeah, I get down too, and believe me, I have a lot of reasons sometimes to be down. You know some of those reasons. You've heard our life history here. You know what has happened in this house. You know what we go through every day. And none of that is made up. I don't care what anyone says. They haven't lived in this house. They haven't walked in our shoes. And everything that we've been through was so that we could bring this message to you. So that you could actually look towards your future and have a bright future, so that you would be able to, at some point, shift your reality and make it something that you really must have, and something that is beautiful. Just like I watch the creation that's going on now as Victoria is finishing a master soul image. And this one it just took my breath away. She's still adding elements to it. This is one of those kind of super soul images, you know. And when I saw it today, I was like, yeah, it's nice to see a true artisan at work. It's nice to see what can be created. Now imagine if that image became reality. It certainly is for somebody out there, because these images are real. They carry spiritual energy with them, especially if you connect to Father and say, I want this to be my next reality. I really need this. And the energy is set for that purpose.